guys, today I'm going to be doing a review on the Benchmade 580 Barrage. I'm not really sure why I never did a review on the 580 Barrage. I've had it for around 4 years. I got it right after SHOT Show when they announced it. The reason why I really never got to this review was just because it was too EDC for my channel in the past. But now that I'm doing EDC reviews, I definitely want to do a review on this knife because I feel this is kind of an oddball knife, especially since Benchmade uses it in so many capacities. And personally, I think the knife's awesome in the fact that of its spring power, but I really generally don't like the knife. First off, to get into what I do like about the knife, I do think, as I mentioned first, the knife is very fast. And if you've never seen one or held one or deployed one, you really should, just because they are super fast, and you can hear how loud this thing is. It comes out with a lot of authority, and actually also a little bit of the reason why I don't like it, just for the fact that when you pull this out in public and you just want to do something like cut open a box or something really simple, it can be a little bit obnoxious to have that knife come out so fast and with such authority. So generally, I'll deploy it just like how you saw. I'll just kind of like wrap it like that. But I do, when I'm not in public, like that fast, loud deploy. It's really nice, and if you love spring-assisted knives and just generally spring-powered knives, it's really awesome. I don't have any complaints as far as everyday carry tasks go. The blade might be a little long for some people's preferences, but the knife is pretty comfortable in general EDC tasks, once again cutting open boxes and stuff like that. I haven't really had any problems with it, but I really do feel like the knife was made for more of a combative task, and I get that really from this edge that has a extremely long swedge on it, and overall it just looks very combative, but the ergonomics really don't support any combative or defensive uses. I mean, there's absolutely no jimping on the knife unless you kind of count this, but even this texturing isn't really deep or usable, and these side grooves do offer some traction, but really nothing in the way of a lot of traction. And so even in a reverse stance, I really don't feel this knife is really suited for defensive tasks. Certainly might give it the illusion of that. Like I said, I would not really recommend it in that capacity. Talk about modifications that I made and some of the reasons why I haven't made more modifications to the knife. Of course, I think as you guys can see, this is not the original clip for the knife. This knife originally came with the split arrow clip, but after several times of it bending out on me, I really just decided that I didn't want to use that anymore, and so I switched over to a normal clip, and this clip has been on here for quite a while. I did also put the Ergonomics clip on here, but I didn't really like the way the Ergonomics clip carried. It didn't really carry it super deep, so I ended up just putting it back to this original clip, and I've had this clip on it with no problems. I really do like the just standard Benchmade clip, and if you guys want to make this modification yourselves, it's pretty easy. Just contact Benchmade and they'll generally send these clips to you for free. The reason why I never really made any more modifications to the knife is really because I can't, and what I mean by that is, and I'm going to try and get a close-up here, but you guys can kind of see already, this bit here is actually stripped out, and that is because it was set in there so hard by Benchmade that it just, when I tried to unscrew it, it was re-stripped, and then that just made it worse, and this is fully stripped out, and so I can't really do anything with it, and it's unfortunately just on this side. I can get every other screw out except that one, so that's kind of the reason why I haven't done more with it. Kind of is a sucky part of this knife, but once again, I think this is just a lemon as far as knives go. I do think most of the others are pretty good. I haven't seen any other Barrages that have had the same problem, and once again, this is still a pretty early, probably in the around 2000s of these made, so this is still kind of pretty early. As to what I don't like about this knife, as I kind of already mentioned, I feel that the knife blade and handle are kind of mismatched. Like, I feel this blade should have been on a more combative knife than this handle. Another thing I really don't like is the fact that, and even now, I feel the knife is really kind of overpriced in the fact that this is only 154 cm as far as steel goes, and this is Norl GTX for the handle, which is just saying it's not really particularly great. And this runs you right now around $128. And I feel that you can get a lot better deals with things like this ZT0566. This is LMAX steel. This one is also spring assisted and pretty fast. I wouldn't say it's quite as fast, but like I said, LMAX steel, G10 handle and steel on this side. And I really feel like this point of around $138 to $142. So this knife here, like I said, is pretty overpriced for what you're getting. If you look at these two, very close in blade length. They're pretty similar. Same with handle. They're very similar knives. Like I said, a little bit shorter blade length on this one, but overall you're getting a far superior blade steel, and you're getting actually effective jimping, and a lot of things that you just don't get with the Barrage. Also made a G10 and S30V version of this knife, and I still don't fully like that knife because, once again, it suffers from all the same jimping issues and all the previous issues mentioned, but it's $172 in comparison to $128, so even more money for that takes away from the value of the S30V and G10 handle. I really think that the knife has a very competitive edge over anything, and I feel like you can get a lot better knives than this one for similar price points. Though I will say the one thing that is kind of nice is the fact that there is a historical value as far as Benchmade collectorship goes. This knife was what started it all as far as spring powered, which is like spring assist auto axis locks. This was the very first knife to incorporate a spring assist with an axis lock, and so every other axis auto and spring assist axis is kind of based off of this, and so it is kind of a neat collector's piece if you are into Benchmade history. This knife capacity, I feel, would be worth it a little bit more, but once again, I wouldn't really feel that you'd be getting it for its practical applications, more just for the fact that it kind of started that spring assist slash axis auto with Benchmade. Guys, that's been my review on the Benchmade 580 Barrage. Like I said, I really don't think they're worth it a whole lot as far as a user standpoint goes, but if you're into it for its historical value, it may be worth the $128. I will say, as far as EDC goes, like I said, it's just fine. I haven't really found much problem with it, but I just think there's a lot better options. Those are my thoughts on the Barrage, and I'm out.